Shout out to everybody out there on White Street. You already know what it is. Salute to everybody.
April.
What up?
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you? Tired?
Never had a bad day in my life, yo.
You tired?
All right. Yeah, just got off work, man. But you know, the grind doesn't stop.
I hear you. I hear you.
All right. So first thing I want to do, I just want to kind of have you go over your background, just a little introduction for anybody who may not know you. Hopefully we get you in front of a whole bunch of new eyes from subscribers on my channel. I'm going to talk a little bit about my introduction to you and more importantly, why I wanted to have this conversation with you to begin with.
Okay.
And then just let the conversation just kind of flow organically from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Cool. So give me your rundown, your bio.
All right. Well, first, thank you for asking me to do this. I want to say that. I don't even know where to start. I'm 39. I'll be 40 in October. I've got a son that's about to be 13 this Saturday.
Hey.
Never been married, thank God. I was born in Alabama. Moved to Tennessee when I was 10. Y'all can hear my country accent. I was introduced to hip-hop music by my big brother. Well, the first real rap song I heard was Ice Ice Baby. That's not true hip-hop. So my first true hip-hop was Snoop Dogg Doggy Style cassette tape that my big brother bought for me. And then that was when we had moved to Tennessee. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 7. Both of them remarried within like a year and a half after that. Me, my mom, and stepdad moved to Tennessee, which is where we still are. Me, my mom, and my son live together now.
And how long ago did you actually start doing reactions?
Reactions in November. November the 10th.
So November 2019?
November the 10th, 2019.
Nice. So you're coming up to your 1 year too as well, right?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was just 9 months. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, and so like part of what I want to go over is not only like your background as far as who you are as a person, but the background as far as that building of a community, that building of a reaction channel from scratch. Some of there's a lot of positives, there's a couple negatives, and I think that we have a very unique opportunity with you and I having a discussion about this to kind of like pull the curtain back on some of the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it's going to make really good and interesting content. And more importantly, like I wanted to point out, so like I was introduced to you. I don't watch reaction channels. So John Henry, who's in here actually, put me on to you. Shout out to John Henry.
John Henry's the one that requested that I react to Hunted Koofy's Nick Cannon diss, and
there you go.
So
John, we're gonna do like a 6 degrees of John Henry one day and see how he's connected to everybody.
I love it.
So I don't normally watch the reaction channels, like I said. So, but John was like, "Yo, you got to go check her out." So I pull it up, and you know, I always keep it on, like keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I pull up your channel, and I was like, "This isn't for me. I don't watch reaction channels. Why do I want to watch this lady sit here and listen to music? Like, I don't get this. I don't get it. Why would I want to do this? You know what I mean? Like,
face doesn't say bar breakdown hip hop.
and not only does it not do that, but like I also you have a pretty modest setup compared to other reactors.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have like super big lighting and cameras and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. So then I look, and you had like over 3,000 subscribers, and then I'm like, what is going on here? So then I go and I decided to like sit down and actually watch like a whole video, and I was like, okay, I get it now. You have a certain level of authenticity about you when talking about hip-hop and when you actually get the opportunity to find something that you like. I think it took like 2 or 3 videos for me to watch where I was like, okay, she's being legit. Because my biggest issue always with the reaction channels is everybody has everything nice to say and is always afraid. Exactly, right?
Fake
so like I can't. I can't deal with it.
I fucking
And I didn't get a hint of that from you when originally watching, which is one of the reasons I started fucking with you personally, right? So like I only really have like relationships with a handful of people YouTube wise, right?
Right.
So like let's start at the beginning, you know what I'm saying? What made you want to start a reaction channel? Because seeing your success, seeing the fact that like I want to get into like the relationships that you developed and stuff like that, but my thing is, like, I think it's going to be really interesting for the people who also are thinking about starting a channel, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they may not think, like, oh, I don't have the right equipment, or, oh, I don't have the right audience. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, you add a very good variety and a very good a diversity to the channels that is going to open it up to a lot of people who may want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
I was very
speak on that.
I was very skeptical and nervous about it. I actually didn't even know reaction channels existed until last summer. I didn't even know it was a thing because I spent 20 years being a nurse.
What put? Oh, that's dope too. We're gonna speak on that.
Yeah.
But what was the reactions that got you? Like, what did you see being reacted to that brought you into it?
Well, my number one favorite hip hop artist is Eminem. So I love true crime shit. I binge watch true crime shit all the time, serial killer shit and all that shit. And I was binge watching shit one night, you know, you go down the fucking wormhole, whatever. And so then I get to watching Eminem shit, and I'm watching like these interviews and stuff, and then No Life Shaq pops up in my recommended. And it's
Shout out to Shaq.
like No Life Shaq reacts to what I'm like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? But I'm like, it's Eminem. So I'm like, let me check it the fuck out. And it was one of Shaq's older videos, and he's sitting there with no shirt, just tattoos with his hat. But I cracked the fuck up, man, and I was laughing so hard. I was like, and then I go down that wormhole, you know, and I start watching all his Eminem reactions, and I'm laughing my fucking ass off, like, and then like I started typing in like people's first time hearing Eminem this, and then another thing, people's first time hearing Bohemian Rhapsody, which, to be honest, it's very difficult for me to believe no one's ever heard Bohemian Rhapsody, but
depends how young they are, though. I can imagine anyone under 20, you know what I'm saying? If they're under 20, maybe.
Yeah, but and then like, but after watching Shaq for a couple days, I briefly thought, because I wasn't working, you know, I couldn't physically work anymore due to medical issues, and so I thought I could do that. That's some shit I could fucking do, you know. But then I thought I'm very self-conscious about my teeth, and just, you know, I'm not very self-confident. I have a low self-esteem, you know what I mean? And I'm like, who the fuck is gonna watch my old country white ass break bars down? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know. So then it was November the 9th. Script Work was live. I didn't even know what the fuck a live stream was. It just said Script Work Live. And I'm like, fuck is that? So I
that's a reaction channel? I'm not familiar with Script Work.
Script Work to me is the top tier bar breakdown channel of YouTube.
Okay.
You need to check them out, for real. For real. You'll like them. But anyway, so I'm like, I'll check what the fuck is. So I check, you know, I clicked on it, and I see the fucking chat going, and I'm like, the fuck? And then I said, hey, that's, you know, hey. And then the dudes on the damn fucking, my phone said, what's up? And at that point, I was just April G.
Okay.
I had not formed like, showers hadn't even come in the picture. But I was just April G. And, you know, a viewer.
Right.
And they said, what's up, April G? And I'm like, holy fuck, they just talked to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck just happened? And then, you know, everybody in that chat seemed really cool. And I remember several different people that was in there. Maria and Cheryl. It was several different people in there. I can't remember all of them. And I told them, I said, you know, y'all, I've been thinking about starting a reaction channel, but I'm hesitant. And they're like, man, ain't nothing to it but to do it. That's how they talk, you know. There ain't nothing to it but to do
Oh
it.
shit! So another reaction channel actually put you on to start doing reactions.
They're like, man, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Just do you, be yourself. And then the whole chat was like, we need more female bar catchers, girl. Please do it. We ain't got enough females that catch bars. Most females just sit there and nod their heads and show their fucking cleavage and shit, you know. And I'm like, man. And they taught me into it the very next fucking day I started my channel.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Now that brings me to like one of the okay.
That's why I say No Life Shack was my inspiration and script work was my motivation. That's what
dope.
I always say.
Now, the YouTube community as a general gets a very bad rap. You hear a lot about like don't ever read the comments on a YouTube video.
Yeah.
There's nothing but trolls online. And from what I've seen, I'm gonna let you speak on that. I don't want to put words in your mouth. But from what I've seen of your community and obviously how I talk about the GS gang and my community and stuff like that, it couldn't be further from the truth. I actually personally I derive a lot of like positivity and a lot of just like home feeling from the GS gang, from my people that I talk to, right? So like I want to hear you speak on a little bit the development of your own personal community as far as the G Squad goes.
Okay. Yeah, I remember trying to figure out, well, first I had to come up with a name. At first, my channel name was just April Showers. And then I looked, it's like 500 million April Showers on YouTube. I'm like, that's not going to fucking work. And then, so I'm like, well, April G Shower sounds cool. And I just started putting that emphasis on the G. You know, I don't know why. It just happened, you know. And then we were trying to, yeah, me and Maria were trying to come up with a hashtag and names for my subscribers, my fans, whatever, you know. And at first, oh my God, and I hate it. When I go back and look at these fucking videos, I fucking hate it. At first, it was April Storms. Terrible. Terrible. And
They sound like a stripper.
Oh, it was terrible. And I would like, my introduction was like, what up, y'all? It's April G Showers coming to y'all by storm. Oh, it's so fucking stupid, man. And I'm like, oh my God, I fucking hate it. But anyway, and I'm like, yo, that lasted like a few weeks. I'm like, I can't do this shit. This is fucking corny as fuck. I can't do this. And I said, I like April G Squad because I started doing the G Squad fist bump. That's that thing, you know. And everybody started just catching on, and you know, it just happened. You know, as far as haters and trolls, you know, I've noticed the bigger you get, the more obviously trolls you get, and like stupid comments. I think when you're a female, people just automatically assume maybe you're weak or something. So I do get a pretty good bit of hate comments.
Well, let's talk ratios, because I want to make this factual for people who aren't actually involved in the YouTube community. You know what I mean? So for every 100 comments you get, how many would you say are positive from G Squad and how many are negative from trolls? And if you had to be completely honest on any given 100 comments.
I'll do it percentage. I'll say it's probably 75% positive, 25% negative.
And that's saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like that's part of why I wanted to talk about this with you too, because like there's something.
My nose runs. I can't help it. So.
You'll be all right. There's something beautiful about the communities on YouTube, like a YouTuber's own individual personal community. Like I know you were speaking previously on having some type of self-conscious issues and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. Would you be cool with speaking on like how has like the G Squad and stuff like that? How have they like helped you or hurt you, or like as far as your own personal development goes? Like speak on that for somebody who doesn't know.
Okay, so just a little bit of a background. I am a school shooting survivor. I'm a school shooting survivor where I saw my best friend get shot and killed at school when I was 15 in 1995 here in Tennessee. I'm also a recovering addict. I've never really had any mental or emotional support, so music has always been that one thing that's been there for me, always, you know. And, you know, no matter what
a lot of people relate to that.
You know, no matter what kind of mood you're in, you can find a fucking song. You know what I mean? So, and I write. I'm a writer. So, writing and music have always been my therapy. And so, I lost my home last year, and everything. Me and my son had to move in. I lost both of my brothers. Me and my son had to move in with my mother. I was really low. And then, you know, I stayed isolated back in my bedroom all the time. Just fucking binge watching bullshit, reality shows, and then YouTube stuff. Started my channel, and, you know, it was just like the fact that it was script work that motivated me, and the people that were part of their squad, you know, Hug Life is what they're called. Hug Life and Planet Breakdown is their hashtags, you know, and then I was introduced to King Blitz and the Kingdom not even a week later. And, you know, I kept meeting different people, and people were actually watching my stuff and commenting. And, like, for the first 5 months, I couldn't even pull up fucking music videos. I was only reacting to Spotify audio.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. But
so you were getting the views and you were getting the viewership and stuff like that without even the video support.
Yes.
That's dope. That there's something to be said about that.
Yeah. And so, but you know, I have PTSD and depression and everything, and like no support at home or whatever, mentally, emotionally. And I tell you what, starting this channel has, and I'm not exaggerating, it has changed my life for the better.
Awesome.
Now, of course it has its cons, like everything. Everything has pros and cons, you know, but the pros extremely outweigh the cons, you know. There are times when I get frustrated. I mean, that's fucking anything you're going to do. You're going to get frustrated.
Right.
But for the most part, you know, my real ones is what I call them. You know, my real ones, I don't know what I'd do without April G Squad.
That's super dope. So let's talk. Let's stay here on topic for a little bit, right?
Okay.
I think we would both agree that the YouTube lifestyle, though, isn't for everybody, right?
No. Like
there is a certain level of thick-skinnedness that comes along with putting yourself in the public eye, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, like, I will say, like, I think that adding everything that you talk about with your background and the emotional issues and things like that, I definitely think that it speaks to a certain openness. Like, it's definitely not as restrictive as people think it is, right?
Right.
So, like, in your own words, in your own opinion, who do you think? How would you determine if somebody is a fit for starting a YouTube channel versus somebody who's not a fit? For their own good, you know what I mean? For their own mental health and well-being and stuff like that. If I'm somebody that's interested in starting a channel, how do I make that determination for myself? Because up until now, I haven't had the confidence necessarily to do it. So how do I make that determination in your eyes, based on your experiences?
Well, considering I'm a person with very low self-esteem, and I was very hesitant. My screen keeps going dim. It's pissing me off. I should have said it to not do that. Sorry. Anyway. See, my advice is the only way to know is to try it. You know what I mean? Is to do it. Because everyone deals with shit differently. Like, you know, I am still the type where I can have, 20 positive comments, 1 negative, and I focus on that motherfucker, that negative motherfucker. And I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. I mean, within 10 days, I wrote a diss track on a motherfucker and dissed a motherfucker of starting my channel. You know?
Yo, April's playing no games with these motherfuckers out here, yo.
But now though I've learned to pick and choose my battles, you know,
Right.
because most of them are just you know, I call them cowards behind the keyboard, just wanting any kind of attention, whether it be negative or positive. Every once in a while I'll reply, you know, and just give it back to them, and 99% of the time they bitch out. They don't say shit else, you know, because they're fucking bitches. You know, they're punk bitches.
And
But
it's you would say it's, if not 99%, 100% of the people are the Twitter eggs, right? It's the people who don't actually have channels, who don't
right,
actually have a face behind it or anything
right,
like that, right?
right, right. It's just stupid shit. And then like, but then like probably 98% of the time when I see a you old toothless ugly bitch, you know, some stupid shit like that, I just
Right.
block them and fucking delete the comment. But and
Okay.
then move on with my life. You know what I mean? Fuck them.
So your suggestion then, just to summarize that then, is that if I'm on the fence about doing this and starting it myself, that your suggestion is to just jump into it and see if I can handle the waters and see what it is, right?
Absolutely, and be yourself. Be yourself.
So let me go. Let me do like a compare and contrast then, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Can you speak on how you are now? You know what I'm saying? In August, coming up to your 1 year, versus how you were when you first started, and what type of personal growth you went through that, and not like in your personal life, but that you would attribute to the YouTube channel, that you would attribute to being in the public eye, dealing with the comments, creating a fan base and things like that. Just speak on the growth if you don't mind.
I definitely have more confidence. My very first reaction was to Homicide, Logic Eminem. And I when I did my first several reactions, I used to wear an Alabama cap. And I talked really low, kind of. And,
Right.
I mean, I was still kind of me, you know, as far as, like, when I'd hear a hard-ass bar or something, be like, oh, my, you know, and stuff like that. But, like, I'm more comfortable in front of the camera, if that makes more sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, at first
Yeah,
I was just
absolutely.
real timid and nervous because I didn't know how people were going to take me, you know, because of my teeth and my age and that kind of stuff. And then
Right.
once I saw that, you know, just the more content you put out, and I also recommend content. You keep that content rolling out. You know what I mean? And you just do it. And then what do you have to lose? You know what I'm saying? And then if you get in it and you're like in it and you see that it's making you more stressed out than happy, bringing you more sadness or frustration or anger or whatever than joy, you fucking delete your channel and be a viewer or whatever. You know what I mean?
Facts. Now, I have seen you frustrated on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
How has it, see, like, I look at it in two different ways, right? So I've commented on your stuff on several occasions to, like, a little bit of reassurance versus also, like, hey, like, it's not as bad as it seems to be type stuff, right?
Right.
But there's got to be some level of therapy involved that you actually have a platform to go complain in. Because there's a lot of people that don't have that outlet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, how is that for you? Like, cause like, I don't know. Like, there's two ways of looking at it. There's a way of looking at it, like you said, where it's like, hey, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. But then there's also the way that's like, hey, I built this platform. This is my platform. If I want to bitch on it, then like I can do whatever I want on my platform. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
how has that worked for you?
When I started my channel, I didn't ever plan on sharing like my writing and stuff, you know. I just jumped right in not knowing fucking shit. Nothing. You know what I mean? Nothing. And it was probably, I started in November. I think the first time I shared one of my poems was either late December, early January, something like that. And I rapped it. And if you go back and watch the very first one, which is called What You Didn't See, versus now, I mean, you could just see, I can see
The whole
the
transformation.
Yeah, the difference. You know, it's crazy. And I thought, you know what, you know, as far as like, you know, with my platform, of course, I love music. I love breaking bars down. I always have. And you know, hip hop is not the only genre of music I like, but
Right.
I do love hip hop. But like being in recovery and everything like that, I want to also make my platform a place for people. You know, I want to be relatable. I think having a personality and being relatable to people is very important. You know, letting people know, well, damn, I'm not the only person who has those feelings or has those thoughts, you know.
Facts.
Or damn, you know, she went through all that and she just celebrated 9 years clean. If she could do it, I can do it.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I just celebrated on August the 8th, 9 years. So, and you know, and I was taught to always share, you know, my story. And what saved me was hearing other people's stories, you know.
Facts.
And I just think, you know, I'm an empath as well. So, like, when I react to certain music, I get emotional. I cry. And I'm very open with that. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Right.
And some people that bothers. And you know, or makes them uncomfortable. I don't know. But that's just me. You know, that's just who I am.
I think that I agree. Everybody's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's first and foremost with that.
Absolutely.
You're cool with a lot of people that don't like me because I speak my mind and I don't big up everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like everyone's not gonna like you. That's and there's nothing wrong with that.
There's several in the community that don't like me either. So. We won't get into that.
Yeah, no, we keep the conversation positive. I'm not here to trash anybody, nothing like that. No. So now we take this concept, right? And this is to me, it's super interesting content when you look at it, right? You have somebody who says like, hey, I don't think I'm a fit for the platform because I'm a shy person, because I don't have the greatest self-esteem. And to put yourself in front of a camera practically daily, right? You would say you put up pretty consistently, you put up videos, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, with the exception of the give or take here and there, you're pretty regularly upload, right?
Most of the time it's daily, yeah.
Right, so to do that type of outside of your comfort zone stuff, right, is remarkable in and of itself. I salute you for it because I'm happy that you found an outlet. But what I'm more interested in, like, you are one person, right? So, like, in the grand scheme of things, yesterday's news, you already made it, you already got the transformation.
Right.
I think that because you have those differences about you and your background and in your appearance and in your self-esteem and stuff like that, you have the ability now to do what script work did for you.
Right.
To so many more people.
Right.
that may not relate to me or may not relate to Shaq or something like that, right?
Right.
You have the Southern accent, you know what I'm saying? You have the fact that you're older than the average reactor, I would say, right? Most of us are in our 20s and stuff. And you're now you're opening up a lot of doors and a lot of windows to literally, you have thousands of subscribers right now, right? Like you're not a small channel with 25 people.
Checked before I went live, and it's 3,741 right now. So
like that's a lot of people. Like I don't even know that they're like sure, it's easy to look at somebody like, you know, the bigger channels that have millions and be like, oh, I don't have millions.
Right.
But 3,000 people is a lot of people that you could be potentially impacting still. Like that's nothing to shrug your shoulder
on top of the ones that are not subscribed, you know?
Exactly. You're always gonna have the lurkers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Always gonna have the lurkers. The people who just don't have accounts too. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot that goes into that. So like I salute you for that. And I'm very interested to see April G. Showers' channel 5 years from now, right? Because there are people right now who have maybe 60 subscribers who are going to end up watching this one way or another. And there's like, you can't use I don't have the best cameras as an excuse. No. You can't use that I'm not putting my cleavage out there as an excuse. You know what I'm saying?
I can't pull videos up.
What'd you say?
Or I can't pull videos up.
Or I can't pull the visuals up. Yeah, absolutely. Like I find you and the channel very inspirational, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to get a chance to talk to you. Especially because I tend to be more of an asshole towards reaction channels anyway. I'm a hard critic. You know what I'm saying? I know my flaws. I'm a hard critic. So I want to make sure I give flowers when people are still there to smell them. You feel me?
Oh, I remember that first night we talked.
I kept it a buck with you, though, didn't I? I kept it a buck with you. Do you mind if I share that story?
My favorite part of your reaction was that's when I found out the G in April G. Shower stood for gangster.
For gangster. Do you mind if I share that story on the live?
That's cool. I'm an open book, so.
So April hits me up to react to one of her spoken word pieces, right?
It stops where it starts.
Yeah,
People
I had
that here, they know it.
Yeah, reactions up on my channel. I did end up eventually doing the breakdown, but she hits me up to do this, and I'm like, look, I start feeling bad instantly. If you're not familiar with my content, my whole job is to basically I score everything based on my own biased opinions of the way that I the music that I look to like, and I try to hold things accountable across the board to a certain standard. And I'm sitting there looking, and I'm like, I'm here critiquing Eminem, and I'm here critiquing, you know what I mean, Crooked Eye, and all of these big names. And then I got Stogie T, right? And then I got April smiley ass in my inbox.
This motherfucker called me. He said he thought I was 52 years old. I said, oh no, this motherfucker did not just say I'm 52 years old.
I was like, look,
52.
I tried to hit her. I tried to get out of it. So I was like, look, I don't think my channel is a fit for what you're looking for, because if I listen to it, I have to have integrity. I can't just I can't just say I like it because you're cool. Right. You know what I'm saying? I can't just say that. I was like, I have to keep it a buck with you. And yo, I've never been checked faster in my life. When she's like, yo, chill. What? She's like, fucking break it down. I want you to break down the bars. I want you to listen. I want you to, if you don't like it, don't fucking like it. Tear it apart. But she wanted the opportunity to be heard, and she wanted the opportunity to get the platform, to get more eyes on the work, like we all do. And then I still said no. I was like, look, I don't think what I consider hot is going to be what you consider to be hot. And I do not, it's going to be a bad look for me if I just come on here and just trash somebody's stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to make myself out to look like an asshole. So and I'm not going to name any other names in this. I'll keep the other. Hold on, let me.
Okay, go ahead.
I won't put anybody else's name in this, but I was like, look, there's this big video that everybody's doing right now. I was like, and I thought this shit was trash. And everybody else is out here hyping it up because it's the next big thing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, look, you give me what you think your honest score is of this particular video.
What that video.
That's what I said. No names. I was like, give me your honest opinion of this. And she did. She sent me the score down, and she broke it down, and she kept it a buck with me. And it wasn't exactly the way that I would score it, but it was honest, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for honesty. I don't ever care if somebody has the same opinion as me. I don't ever care if somebody has the same taste in music as me. Exactly. But I do look to see that someone's not just ass kissing for the sake of ass kissing. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So after she sent me that breakdown, I was like, look, she kept it a buck with me. I'm going to keep it a buck with her. I was like, let's go. So I ended up breaking it down. I ended up loving it. It ended up being a piece. First,
you sent me links. You sent me links of your...
Oh, to watch me trash people on the... Yeah. Oh, shout out to Blue Jay. Poor Blue Jay. But yeah, so so I did. I wanted to make sure that I did it respectfully. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, hey, here's what it looks and sounds like when I don't like something. I was like, are you cool with this type of honesty? And she was like, yeah. She didn't flinch even once. We probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now if I didn't have as much respect for you after that first initial contact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you've come a long way from that. So that's kind of what I want to talk about now. So now we've realized that you have a different background and a different bio than, we'll say, the average hip-hop listener, right? You also have arguably more success than most of the smaller hip-hop channels in the shorter, in the amount of time that you've been doing it.
Right.
Because you're not even at a year yet. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's a lot to be said about that. I want to talk about some of the things that you have accomplished thus far, because you've managed to facilitate relationships with really dope hip-hop artists. You've managed to facilitate nicknames that we talk about every single time when mentioning some of these artists. Certain invites that you're excited about.
Oh,
I want to give you the opportunity
that made me cry.
I want to give you the opportunity to celebrate your winnings, because I think it's important for people to see, not just like when you're on live and mad at somebody that's doing something bad. I want to take the opportunity to let people see all the things that you have to celebrate so far, because I want you to have another opportunity to inspire somebody else who may be thinking about doing this, because you haven't been doing it very long. You had a lot of success in a short amount of time. And, like, I just want you to get the opportunity to speak on it. So, like, what are some of your biggest accomplishments, relationships, and, like, in your own words that you would say are, like, notches on your belt thus far for your channel?
All right. I do remember I had a goal that my goal when I very first started, because like I said, I started November the 10th this past year, 2019. My goal was to have 100 subscribers before 2020.
Let's go. I was like, I want to hit 1,000 subscribers in 2 years. That was my goal. I wanted 1,000 sub in 2 years. That was my goal. Real shit.
Daily, my son would get home from school, and I'm like, I've got 29. You know. and then like I hit 100 like really quickly, and then my goal ended up being hitting 500 subscribers before 2020. And I did. I hit the goal like a week prior. So
nice.
I met that goal. Well, right at the beginning of January the 5th, that's when I reacted to Hunted Koofy's Nick Cannon diss.
Shout out to Koofies. That's my guy.
Shout out Hunt Koofy's Koofy crew. He made this appreciation video. And he said one of my favorite ones. I was in a live stream actually when he was doing this appreciation video.
Okay.
And during the live stream, people were in my live stream going, "Yo, Hunted Koofy's just shouted you out." I said, "What?" Because ain't nobody ever shouted me out. You know what I mean? I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yo, Hunted Koofy's just shouted you," and they were like, they're like, "Watch it, watch." I said, "No, y'all, because I'm going to cry." They're like, watch it. And I'm like, y'all motherfuckers. And so they even had a timestamp and everything. So I still can't pull up videos when I'm live to this day. But anyway, so I pull it up, and sure enough, Hunted Koofy's says one of my favorite channels was April G. Showers. And my favorite part of her video, he's you know Koofy's, he's cool as shit, you know, and he was like, she was doing things she liked to do, you know what I'm saying? And he said,
that's his thing, man. That's his twist, man.
I love it. And he says, John, that's you do too, John. I love that
Philly
word.
baby. Philly baby.
That word. But anyway, and he said my favorite part of hers is when she said, "You's a bitch, Nick." Because, you know, he said, because you went after the rap god, but you a rap queen, blah, blah, blah. And I started crying. And I'm like, oh, my God. You know what I mean? What the fuck is happening right now? And within a week, I hit 1,000. And then, like, I didn't realize you also had to have 4,000 fucking watch hours, which I had I was putting out like 10 videos a day.
Right. To elaborate on what she's talking about, she's talking about getting monetized on YouTube. So in order to get monetized, you have to have a base of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours within the last 28 days. So that's just to elaborate on that.
Within the last year.
Oh, year. I'm sorry. Year.
Yeah. So, but it was only, I think, 2 weeks after hitting 1,000 that I hit the 4,000 watch hours.
Nice.
So then, you know, time goes on. It took about another month to hit 2,000. And then fucking Dax is live. And I go in his live stream, and Dax is fucking live. This motherfucker's got like 2 million subs, so his live fucking chats is like you can't even read
just
shit.
going
There's
off.
no fucking way.
Right.
But he's like, everybody who goes and shares my video, I Can't Breathe was the song.
Okay.
On their IG story, tag me, blah blah blah. And one of my day one subs had shout out Living Miracle, had messaged Dax before he ever went live and said, you need to watch this reaction, because I had already reacted to it.
Right.
And but anyway,
So did I. It was a beautiful track.
oh, I cried, of course. And so
I think I might have too. Just the hook. The hook was
man,
just haunting when it came in. And I'm not like a huge Dax fan or anything like
are
that.
you
I'm
talking
pretty
about
critical
I
of
Can't
him.
Breathe, or are you talking about Black Lives Matter?
I think that I Can't Breathe, John. The one where it had the girl that came in
No,
on
that's
the
Black Lives Matter. That Black Lives Matter is when, you know, when the girl would sing the hook and he was
Right.
rapping. It was about the protesting and
right.
stuff.
Okay, so that's the one I'm
He's
talking
got a
about.
song before R.I.P. George Floyd. Before that happened with George Floyd, a couple months before that, that's called I Can't Breathe. That's not even about that. It's about anxiety and shit.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So the hook on the Black Lives Matter one was the I Can't Breathe
I cried
chant.
on that shit too.
Yeah.
But so we're in the live, and then out of everybody, million of people he could have picked, he was like, yo, April G Showers, everybody, April G Showers. Y'all see, y'all go subscribe to April G Showers. I jumped up screaming in my house, and Jackson comes running in here, my son, and he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, Dash, you shouting me out. You know, like, and so that happened, and then, and then by this time, me and Honey Koofies had become really good friends, like, and now I call him my brother. Koofies, you know, I lost both of my brothers, my big brother, my little brother, both my biological brothers. And I call Honey Koofies my big brother, and King Blitz Kingdom my little brother. And I don't take those words, the word brother, lightly. Devo is also one, Devo the ambivert. But anyway, so anyway, that happened. And then Koofies put out that damn Mickey Mouse track to that stupid mosquito squeaker motherfucker. I started calling him Mosquito Squeaker 645 AR because he sounds like one, right? And Koofies didn't even warn me. I'm reacting to it, and he says, April G called you Mosquito Squeaker, and the frequency hit the speaker, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, wait a minute, people are going to react to this shit. And then I see Shaq uploads it. No Live Shaq now, which is my inspiration. So No Live Shaq fucking, I'm like, when he gets to bed, I'm like watching, like waiting, like,
bated breath.
Yeah, like, is he going to even notice? Is he going to know who he's talking about? You know what I mean? And I'll be damned if Shaq didn't pause and say, man, shout out April G, man. She's on your head too, man. Nobody like you, you know. And I'm like, oh my God, I cried. And I'm like, and then I'm a crybaby. I'm a crybaby. And,
well, these are super emotional. Like I have my own share. Like obviously this interview is about you, but like to relate to what you're saying, I have my own handful of like super emotional moments myself.
Yeah,
like Con gave you a shout out.
No, I'm talking you. You and Con.
Oh yeah. Con is super dope. That's my guy. He didn't make me cry though.
Well, I'm not saying you cry.
He didn't make me cry.
And that's dope that you and Con are cool.
Oh
Con.
shit.
You
yeah, Con's my guy. Yeah, Con's my guy, yo.
I love Con.
We should have this Saturday right now. We're scheduled to do an interview.
I love Con. Vacant is my theme. Love it.
Yeah, I have probably like 3 super diehard Con fans in my Discord.
Henry. Jesus.
And like
He's the one that
that
introduced me to Con.
same. Oh no. So I got introduced to Con by somebody else, and John found me through the reaction to Con.
Gotcha.
Well, go ahead. Back to what you're saying. Your accomplishments and everything.
Yeah. And so No Life Shack, that happened, and then No Life Shack's birthday was in May, and I'm a writer. And I wrote a poem, and I thought, am I going to rap it or am I going to read it? And I'm like, this motherfucker's got almost 2 million subs. I'm reading it, and I think it would be more heartfelt if I read it instead of rapping it. So
I got you.
read it, and I said, my gift to No Life Shack, and it was just about how he inspired me. You know, kind of what I told you. You know, I was going
I got
through,
you.
he showed up in my thing, blah, blah, blah. And it wouldn't, I'm like, he'll never see this. I'm like, if you do happen to see this, which I highly fucking doubt, happy birthday, you know, whatever. It wasn't 10 minutes after I posted it, he commented on it. I was like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And then,
You got eyes on you, April.
I know, I didn't even know that, like, I swear, I thought these people didn't even know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, to me, I'm like down here, and they're like, up here, but it made me realize you never know who's watching you. You know what I'm saying? And
do you see why I think it's important that you share this stuff and these interviews happen? Because you're gonna have other people that are in the same situation that probably think that no one in the world's got eyes on them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like this is a really important interview. I think like this is super dope to share this vision or this version
right.
of the reaction, because they don't see this.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They don't see the emotional roller coaster and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all that are just viewers, the YouTube underground scene is like its own little fucking city. I didn't even know it existed, but it's like we're all like a whole. Everybody knows everybody almost. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or if you don't like know them, you know who the fuck they are at least.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Like I'm like, what? You know, it's changed my life for the good, more for the good than for the bad. And then Crip DM me and was like, yo, you reacted to it recently, the one where I go into detail about the shooting. So
right. I got you.
DM me and was like, April, my eyes were glued to my TV watching your piece where you go into detail about the school shooting. That is amazing storytelling writing. And I'm like, and like I had to double check, like, is this really fucking, like, is this really Crip? You know, is this a troll? You
getting trolled?
Yeah. And this was a couple months ago. And so anyway, and then, you know, Koofy's told me about Merkham's. And he's like, yo, this dude's a problem.
Shout out to Merkham's. Yo, Merkham's is a fucking problem. Shout out to Merk. That's my guy. I should have worn a shirt. I should have had my merch on today.
Whack-a-mole. I love that motherfucker. He had me wanting to go whoop a motherfucker's ass, boy. I was like,
I think most people agree with you.
But
I don't subscribe to that lifestyle anymore, but if I ever decide to go back to it, that will be playing in my headset.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. And he laughed so hard. He calls me Bar Queen. I'm sorry, but I love it. Bar Queen. I love it. So anyway,
you're getting nicknames out of it and stuff.
Yeah, he calls me Bar Queen, and I'm gonna. So anyway, the biggest, other than gaining more self-confidence, I think my biggest accomplishment, like, and the friendships I've gained, realizing that I'm worth more than I thought I was.
Dope.
Realizing I have more talent than I thought I did, you know. And Labor Day weekend, Crypt is having a cookout.
Hey.
And I was fucking invited. And I'm like, whoa, hold up. Of course, I cried. And I'm like, hold up, because, like, I'm, like, out of everybody that's going to be there, I've got, like, the lowest numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you know.
You talk about sub count.
Yeah, as far as sub count, because you know it's Crip, obviously, Shaq, Koofies, Markham's is going, and fucking Gatsby and King Blitz, Script Work, PF. I mean, it's so many, and to know that I'm gonna get to meet Crip, I'm gonna get to meet Mama C, I'm gonna get to meet my inspiration and my motivation. And then my big brother Koofies and my little brother Blitz, all at one. It's just, look, I'm going to crowd out. It's overwhelming. It's just like, wow. You know what I
mean? And this all happened because one day you decided to watch a reaction channel.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, isn't it?
One day I just clicked on a video, and then one day I decided to go in a live stream and say, hey, I'm thinking about, but I'm hesitant. And them talking me into it, and then the next day coming up with a name and just doing it.
I think this is super dope. I think getting this story out there too, like, I don't want you to get all worked up. You want me to be mean to you? You say something mean? Nah, I think this is dope. I think, like, especially in retrospect, right? Because I had the idea of the conversation in my head and how I wanted it to go. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I think the way that it's developed and the way that it's come out is even better than I thought that it was. Because, like, the whole point of doing these is to, like we said, is to pull the curtain back a little bit and give people a little bit of insight, right? And I think that your story is super inspirational.
Thank you.
Especially coming from, like, to say that YouTube changed your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's and not in a superficial way either. No. Not to say, like, hey, I'm making $1 million off of it. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about self-esteem. We're talking about, like, important boxes to check.
It is money wise. Financially, YouTube is not what people think it is. Unless you have bigger numbers. I'm just saying.
Right. Exactly.
But my goal is not to be like big and famous and rich. My goal is to, number one, my subscribers, love my subscribers and the friends and community I've built, and keep that intact. The music, of course, and hopefully one day just to have a sustainable income to be able to provide for my child. That's it. Awesome. That's it. Simple,
Super dope. Do you have any like day one that you want to shout out on the live that maybe you could be their Shaq to give them a shout out?
Like day one subscribers?
Yeah, just anyone you see comment on your channel, any of your viewers.
Oh goodness. I know.
Pressure's on, April.
Well, Maria, her channel now is called Tiptoe. She recently started a reaction channel called Tiptoe, but pretty much everybody knows who Maria is. She's one of the ones that was in the chat that night, and she was one of my first subscribers. I want to shout out Lady Shar, who told me that I was part of her motivation for starting her channel.
Let's go.
She's in Oklahoma, and she's older than I am, and
that's awesome.
She just hit 1,000 subs, I want to shout out Devo the Ambivert. He's been with me. The Listener, The Living Miracle is one of my day ones. John Henry, is Steve Bo 30. Wendy Raymond. Oh man, y'all, it's so many.
How like, you're making my point for me though. Like, how beautiful is that you have so many people that are supporting you that you can't even, like, there's too many to name.
Not say somebody, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you're definitely getting a DM. You're definitely gonna get a DM after this. Shout out to Devo. Devo's my guy. Shout out to John Henry. That's my day one. John Henry is probably the most important, like, cog that I have behind the scenes to my channel.
Tell me about you.
Yeah, like he's plugged me to a lot. So what he does for me, there he goes. He's in the chat too. what he does for
John
me.
Henry, we talking about you.
John is like my lead goonie in that, like, I don't like shitting on people's music if I know that it's not going to be something I like. Kind of like the conversation I had with you, right?
Right.
So John screens my music for me before I listen to it. So like if it's an unknown artist, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's somebody with like 26 subs or something like that. So every Sunday I do the Go Subscribe Sunday for anyone under 1,000 subs to give them a little shine and shit like that. So like John Henry goes and he'll be like, "You're gonna destroy this kid. Don't do it." And you know what I mean? So like, instead of going and doing the reaction, we'll send him a message, either he will or I will, and kind of give him some advice behind the scenes instead of trashing somebody on screen. You know what I'm saying? So like, shout out to John Henry. He's a very important part of what I do. That's my guy.
John Henry.
We got him doing some wild bong shit already on Instagram. He's destroying me on Instagram subs.
I don't keep up with my followers on IG or Twitter.
Lost you for a second. All right. So I think we got like 4 minutes before this breaks out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we started at 1:25. It's 2:23 now. So
wow, that
time flew.
Fast. Yeah.
It did. Is there anything else? Your time to shine. You got the last couple minutes to yourself. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about for your interview that you want to be on here?
I guess my biggest thing would be if you're thinking about starting a channel, whether it be gaming, reaction, whatever it is, like if it's really like on you, like I think that's something I want to do. Fucking do it. Do it. Because what do you have to lose? And if you do start it and you get you will get people that's gonna comment negative, stupid shit. But just remember, you had the guts to go after your passion and your dream and what you wanted to do, and they don't. So that's why they do that shit. You know, I have to remind myself of that all the time. You know what I mean? Like, most of the time, the people that do that shit are people that are too scared, you know, to follow their own passion, whatever it may be. I never thought, I was a nurse for 20 fucking years. Like, I never thought I was going to be a 40-year-old fucking reaction bar breakdown. Like, fucking ever. If you would have asked me this time last year, I'd have been like, what the fuck are you talking? No fucking what, you know what I mean? I never.
Right.
And now I can't imagine my life without it. Like,
you got 20 seconds. 20 seconds. You're about to get cut off.
All right, I love y'all. Steve, thank you so much, man, for this.
No problem.
It's been an honor, man. Thank you. I'm so
It was
grateful.
absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. Y'all go
right,
Steve.
Hey, I appreciate everybody that came in, just put in the comments. I seen you guys. I didn't want to cut her off.
This will be on
but yeah,
YouTube.
momentarily. Let me get it uploaded.
All right.